Interestingly, what the theme that really comes out in this report is there's a lot of issues here, deferred maintenance issues, the fact that we have not invested in our infrastructure for too long. Now we're playing catch up. And I realize a lot of folks are probably going to get hung up on the costs of these things. So I want to start somewhere philosophically on this. It really is a situation that we can either pay to catch up or we can just pay forever to never catch up, isn't it? Now is the time to strike, it seems to me. This is what the report is saying.
Yeah, you have the money in the bank now to make a giant impact on the deficit we have, in a sense, in broadband and water and sewer. So yeah, you'll never quite always catch up because things need to be repaired and everything. But we have not been strategically on top of taking care of all these needs in the past decade or so. So we have a bit of a lag.
In the report, it makes an interesting case that if you dollar, you're going to get back a bunch more than that down the road within 20 years. I think that would be news to most people when it comes to investment.
Well, you mean that the investment pays itself off in the long run?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all of this stuff we talk about in infrastructure are really the building blocks behind a successful educational system, public health system, economy, all those types of things. When you're not deploying these needs at the rate you ought to, you're taking away from the potential to have that growth. But if you configure these systems in a smart fashion, you're going to reap a return on them.
Let's talk about the legislature. Obviously, they're going to have a pretty heavy hand in how this all works out. Governor Lujan Grisham has announced that former Albuquerque mayor, someone you know well, Marty Chavez, is now the infrastructure czar of a sorts. I'm curious to your opinion on the need for that. Is that the appropriate way to go, to have one person at the top of it sort of overseeing, or is there a better way, or what's your sense of it so far?
Well, what we call for is really kind of having a committee led by the governor's office that is constituted of that consists of the heads of agencies to talk about infrastructure. But given that we're in this kind of emergency or last, rapid deployment of infrastructure funds, I think the governor's assembled kind of an all-star team to come in and help. So, nobody knows municipal infrastructure better than Mayor Chavez. And, they've got Mike Hammond, the former director of the Bureau of Reclamation, Bianca Ortiz-Wertheim, who's Senator Udall's former chief of staff. They've got a new broadband director from the state of Illinois. I think the governor has been wise to bring in these experts to help deploy these funds. But in the long term, really, what we call for is for the executive in the state, the governor, to convene a group that's meeting on a regular basis to hack out all the different infrastructure issues we have.
One of the lines here that really caught my eye and should catch anybody's eye if they read this report, and I'm going to encourage our viewers to do so. We'll have a link in the thread below. That there was the Business Roundtable in an infrastructure study found that for every dollar invested in infrastructure, delivers $3.70 in economic growth over 20 years when factoring in household income and other economic indicators. That, to me, Terry, seems like, if you're going to think long term, how do you pass that up? Right?
Yeah,
it's pretty clear.
Yeah, I don't know how we pass it up. I mean, we're not even talking about the fact that when you do an infrastructure project, you're hiring people to do the construction, they're buying supplies in the local community. You're doing all sorts of good. And I think the problem is infrastructure is just not a sexy topic, and it's not forefront on people's minds. And so it often gets, left behind. And it's more often than not these days a state by state competition. Companies want to locate in a place where they have this infrastructure in place. I mean, we talked to business owners across the state that said our lack of broadband is inhibiting their growth as a business. And so, if we want economic development, we got to have broadband that's competitive. And right now, we are the least competitive state with our broadband.
Terry, one of the difficulties I'm sure you guys have talked about is how to get all the local agencies on board and going in the same direction, because we have other entities out there like the PRC. They're going to be critical in all these decisions. What's your sense of how you're able to get everybody in the room, so to speak, and getting moving in the same direction in New Mexico?
Well, I mean, that all comes down to leadership. I mean, somebody has to decide in the state they want to take this on and start leading on this issue, because you're absolutely right. I mean, the PRC is kind of off doing its own thing. You know, the Environment Department's doing another, the Department of Finance Administration is doing another, and the legislators are doing something with their capital outlay. And it really calls for somebody to wrangle all these cats and get them together to figure out how we're going to do this in the right way. I've seen that done in the past. I mean, prior administrations have figured that out. But I understand we're in the middle of a global pandemic. There's a lot of challenges right now, so infrastructure again might not get the attention it needs. But really, for the long term, the time is right now to set up the systems we need to start planning more responsibly on this front.